Gangster freedom is dead. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started, please make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel by hitting that subscribe button and hitting the notification bell, so that way you don't miss out on any future content. Also, leave a thumbs up and share this on your various social media platforms, because that helps the reach and that helps the growth of the channel. We have a very special brother with us today, a very special guest with us today. It's not his first time being on this channel before. He's been here. I've been on his channel, but we have a brother with us who works on my phone a little later. He works on a lot of different projects. Okay, he makes music now. He's making books for children. He also speaks on social and political situations that are affecting the community over on YouTube and over on Instagram. I can introduce him, but I feel like it's just if he gets a chance to introduce himself to you guys. So without any further ado, let me bring up our good brother, Sincere Love the God. Sincere, how are you, sir?
Peace. What's going on, Afro Elite, man? Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate being here with you today.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, brother. It's good to have you back. I know you're a very busy man, working on albums, working on books. You know, you're working on a lot of stuff. So it's good that we have time to bring you back on so we can discuss some of these things that you're working on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. We got to make time to connect with each other. You know, the networking aspect and lifting each other up is an important aspect of what we all do. You know, you're a busy man as well, but we got to make these things happen. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I appreciate you having me on here to help talk about some of the projects that we got going on and things like that. And thanks for that intro, too, man. Solid intro.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. In case this is the audience's first time hearing about you or seeing you, let's give the audience a good intro. It doesn't have to be long, but a good introduction about like who are you, how you get started doing this stuff. What would you say is your craft? You know, things like that about you. What do you focus on mainly, or I know you're very well rounded when it comes to touching on different aspects of, you know, different things that are necessary for the community. But if there's anything in particular that you focus on.
I mean, you know, I think you nailed it pretty good, like I said in that intro. But for those of you that don't know, my name is Sincere. I go by Sincere Love the God. Among many things, I'm your brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father. I'm a barber by trade. I'm an MC, content creator in the space of Black empowerment, of course, podcaster and all of that. And now, newly, did I mention I'm an MC? Yeah, I said I'm an MC, hip hop artist. And now, as of recently, I've just become a published author. You know what I'm saying? Along with my team at Godcast Enterprises. I'm the founder of Godcast Enterprises, along with my co-founders, Nicety Girl and Crown 808. Nicety Girl is my co-host on the podcast, and Crown 808 is one of our moderators who helps us out with a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And so we all got together and we formed a company, Godcast Enterprises. And so we released our first project, which is the children's book, and we got more plans to come.
Okay. That's good. Shout out to our good sister Nicety. You guys, I know I've met Nicety a few times. She's a lovely sister. And Crown 808. Also shout out to her as well too for the assistance that she's been able to provide for the you said the Godcast Enterprise. Shout out to that. Now, since we're talking about the he says Jesse Paris, he says he's a mod on your channel as well too.
Oh yeah, shout out to Jesse Paris.
Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to his mods and my mods and everybody in the chat room. I see our brother Torian's in here. Shout out to our brother Torian.
Shout out to Torian.
Now, I want to, since we were talking about your book, the book that you just published, let me go into that so we can actually get a good view of the book that you just published, right? It's Seven, the Super Haru. Now you see the family right here. And I'm going to just read a little bit of that. Now, as you can see, it's not that expensive. It's a very affordable book. You know, it's not like he's saying, I'm going to make a book and I'm going to try to make a big bang for it. It's clearly him making a book for the empowerment of other Black people. But it says, Seven, the superhero, was inspired by the young god Seven, genius child of loving parents Sincere and Kamisha. Seven is an advanced learner and is often incorporated into content created on social media and frequent appearances on Sincere Love the Godcast. Godcast moderator Crowned 808 was inspired to write a children's book with Seven as the main character based on the interactions online with Seven and his father. They all agreed the book was dope and decided it would be a great idea to turn into a series. So this is just one of a series. This is not just one book, one and done. And you don't have to wonder if it's a part two, but you know, because it's a series, that a part two is coming. Yes. So, Sincere, brother, can we talk about what inspired the creation of this book, and what is this book about? What is the contents in this book?
Well, so it's a children's book, and like the description says, it's based on my son, my 7-year-old son. His name is Seven, and we plan to do 7 volumes of the series. But the inspiration, really, we got to give the major shout out to, again, our moderator, Crown 808. Crown 808 was the spark for this entire project. In many ways, you know, not just with the book, but just in everything that we've been doing together. She is like the manifester of a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like she's behind the scenes. She doesn't come on camera and stuff like that. But her energy, her expertise, and all of that has really become the glue. You know what I'm saying, for the 3 of us. You know what I'm saying? So definitely got to shout out to her, because, you know, me and Nice Steve, we podcasting, and we chopping it up on camera and all of that. And like I said, my son, he jumps on and off camera. I won't be surprised if he come in here any minute now. You know what I'm saying? And I also post a lot of content with him. He has his own Instagram page at 7 the Super Heru. And so I've been posting content with him since he was a baby, because he's been an advanced learner his whole life. So by the time he was 1 year old, he was already reading, already doing math on like a 2nd grade level. You know what I'm saying? So he's like a super advanced child. And so just her being inspired by that, by her seeing our interaction on screen and him coming on saying stuff that he says and talking about the stuff that he says. Sometimes he has to help us out with some of the information. You know what I mean? Because he knows a lot of facts about, you know, the world and, you know, like geography and stuff like that. He knows a lot of facts. So sometimes he got to help us out. And so just her watching that and being inspired by that, she took it upon herself to write the book. You know what I mean? And so when we was having one of our meetings behind the scenes, she was like, "Oh, guys, I don't know what y'all going to think about this, but check out what I wrote." And me and Nicey was immediately like, "Yo, this is a book. This is finished. We need to do something with this. Like, we got to put this out. None of us ever put out a book before. None of us know what we're doing, but we're going to figure it out." And so the good thing is, on our podcast, we have the Black Business Showcase, which is one of the weekly series that we do. And so we've interviewed a few authors and publishers. And so we hollered at our brother Fobbs, shout out to Fobbs, the chairman, and we hired him as a consultant to kind of walk us through the process of, you know, editing the book, formatting the book. He hooked us up with our illustrator, and shout out to her too, Miss Q Olivia Ross, and the print company that we went through to get the copies printed up and everything like that. You know, he kind of plugged us into all of his resources and helped us along the way and taught us the game along the way too. So now, you know, he was kind of like the training wheels for us, but going forward, we kind of know what to do for volume 2 and beyond.
Okay. Speaking of volume 2, do we have any type of dates or, you know, I don't want to say if it's supposed to be a surprise. I don't want to spoil it, but do we have a date of when the volume 2, around what time we're supposed to be expecting that?
Now as far as that goes, I don't know. As far as
Okay.
that goes, I don't know, because we're really still going through the process of just launching volume 1. And I know we still have a lot to learn of everything
Mhm.
that it takes. We got to this point, we got to the
Mhm.
finish line as far as writing the book, publishing the book, but now we have to go through this process of figuring out how to really get it to the people. And so we really want to focus on that and really start generating some sales and
Mhm.
continue to build our audience um, before we publish the next volume.
Mhm.
We want to have an established customer base before we really publish the next volume. But we are still in the creative process, you know what I mean, brainstorming and throwing ideas around for what the next volumes will be like. And so far, tentatively, volume 2 is going to be about Seven getting his first haircut. Because if you guys notice on the cover of volume 1, he has locks. You know what I mean? And he had
Mhm.
locks all the way up until right before his 7th birthday. You know what I'm saying? And so he doesn't
Mhm.
have locks anymore. You know what I mean? And so we wanted to incorporate that. The book is based on him. It's not 100%, like an autobiography or anything like that. But the character is based on him. It's based on our family. And so we incorporate some things that are real, and we use fantasy as well. And so the book is just really, we thought it was a great idea because as we see nowadays, there's a lot of agendas being pushed on our children. And people have to be very careful when they're going into bookstores, even sending your kids to school, the school libraries and stuff like that. They got all of these books with the LGBTQ agenda attached to it that are targeting our children. You know what I mean? And that's something that we actually went through when he was about, I think, 3 years old or something like that. Maybe 2 or 3 years old. I forget which one it was because he was reading so early. But we had picked up a book. It was me, him, and my daughter when I think it was Barnes and Nobles, and she grabbed a book for him. It was one of those books that are made for toddlers. It's a very small book, and the pages are made out of cardboard, so they don't rip it up or nothing like that. It's specifically designed for toddlers, and she was attracted to it because of the design of the cover. It had like red, black, and green. You know what I'm saying? It was like blackface. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? The book was in blackface. And so my daughter, she picked it up. She's like, oh, we should get this for 7. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Not thinking nothing of it. We ring it up and everything. We get home. She sit down with her little brother, starts reading the book and everything. And then she comes to me and she's like, Dad, this book is talking about all this LGBT stuff. And so I took a look at the book and I'm like, wow. Like, at that time, I wasn't as guarded as I should be. You know what I mean? But from then on, I've been taking extra precautions and being very diligent about what I allow him to intake as far as any type of media. You know what I'm saying? We have like a media review system at our home, whereas we go through everything before he reads it, before he's watching it on TV or YouTube or anything like that. We make sure it's cool because now everything is so inundated. And so that's the reason why us as a team, as a company, we thought that this was an important move and this would be a good first project for us because some of us have to put in the work to counter that energy that's out there.
That's very true. It is up to us because a lot of times, especially nowadays, it never really killed us as Black people be safe, but especially nowadays, the second you turn your head away, what you think your kid might be looking at, might be watching and consuming, might be innocent because it's supposed to be marketed for children. I'm sure your daughter found it in a children's section. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So you think, okay, well, if it's coming from here, it must be okay because this is, like you said, a toddler's book, but you don't know what's, now they are subliminally and now openly, putting inappropriate things in the books and in the movies and the cartoons and stuff like that. So you're absolutely right. You, as a parent, just as an adult, period, you have to be very aware of what is marketed and what is put out for these children. So it's very important that we, as a community, because we always talk about creating solutions. So it is important that we come together, like how you and Crown 808 and Nicely did come together and develop a solution. So much
Absolutely.
respect to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is nothing that I would have ever got done on my own. And so we definitely want to stress the importance of, like you said, networking, coming together, finding like-minded individuals and really linking up. You know what I'm saying? Not just kicking it, but really figuring out ways to link up and do something that's going to be empowering. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the power of social media. That's the power of the new black media and
Mm-hmm.
us creating these spaces for us to be able to interact with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. So this is the first edition, this first issue of the book. Without giving any major spoilers, what adventures or what takes place in this edition of the book?
So the first volume is Seven's Big Move.
Okay.
And again, this is based on something that really happened. We moved last summer to a new place, and he had lived in the same house pretty much all of his life, and so it was the first big move for him, and that was a somewhat of an experience. Even though in real life he was excited about moving into a new house, you know what I mean. But when she wrote the story, um, we hadn't told her our actual story of, what his real feelings were or whatever. She was just being creative. And
Mm-hmm.
so in the book, he's not happy about moving to a new house. You know what I'm saying? He's
Okay.
worried about, losing his friendships and, not being able to do some of the things that he's used to. And so in the book, it's a learning experience for him about change.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
That's good. That's good. You base the story of that issue on a real life event, and I'm sure the next one is probably going to be the same, and so on and so forth. You base it on a real life event, and you can, always do things to make the story interesting for the audience to read and everything. And I like that concept because there's a lot of things that happen in our life on a regular basis that we can learn from, that we can grow from. There's a lot of people who can relate to that story of living in one house and moving to another house. There's a lot of people who can relate to that. Everything doesn't have to be but everything doesn't have to be superheroes and sci-fi and everything like that. Sometimes having a grounded story that children can actually relate to and resonate with, sometimes that's good. Sometimes they need that more than they need shooting aliens or whatever the case.
Right. But I do want to say this too, though, because again, the series is called Seven the Super Heru, or some people say Heru. And Heru, the ancient Kemetic god is where the word hero comes from. You know what I mean? And many of the superheroes that come from the mainstream are based on Black history anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so there is sort of that element to the series as well. You know what I'm saying? We figured out different creative ways to kind of sneak in a little bit of history, to sneak in a little bit of messaging, subliminal messaging, and also make it fun and engaging for the children. So there is an aspect of that. If you guys look at the series cover for the book, you see he has a cape and everything. You know what I mean? He's up on top of the Washington Monument, which is, from ancient Kemet as well. You know what I mean? And so we snuck some stuff in there that could plant some seeds for the babies, but we didn't want to just bang them over the head with the information. You know what I'm saying? We made it an edutaining experience for the children.
Okay. Well, that's really good. That's really good. So I'm gonna show the image one more time. Let me actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just copy it and I'm gonna put it in the chat room, so that way people in the chat room, if you guys want to check it out, you guys can put this in the chat room so people can check it out. But just look at it. It's not expensive at all, and they have ebooks too. I know a lot of people, are trying to get into the ebook thing too. People nowadays, a lot of people use tablets to read.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a smart idea that you guys have that option as well too. That was a pretty smart idea, and you have the physical book because people like physical books. But this was the image that he was talking about, and you can see him On there, you see the big books that he has in his hand. He has science, engineering, math, and I think that was that technology in his
Yeah,
hand.
yeah. So his character, I mean, him in real life also, but his character, he's a STEM guy. He's into STEM. You know what I mean? And so we feel like that's important for our children to get into going into the future. You know what I mean? We're not going to be able to do any type of nation building without STEM. So we definitely wanted to incorporate that in there as well. And yeah, you guys, that's the website, man. Go to godcastbooks.com if you guys want to order the book, get the ebook, get the physical books. And we got some merch too for you guys. Let me see, where's my shirt at? We got the 7 the Super Hey t-shirts for the kids. You know what I'm saying? And so these come in different colors on the websites, and the youth sizes. So you guys can order those as well. And I know we're going to talk about the expo coming up, but we'll be at the FBA Expo next week in Dallas, May 27th. We'll be out there vending. We'll have the books on sale for those of y'all that will be in the place. Y'all can come to our table, take some pictures. 7 will be there. He's going to be signing books, taking pictures with everybody and stuff like that. And we'll have the books and the merch on deck, as well as some free giveaways. So anybody that's going to be at the expo, be sure to come visit our table and come check us out.
Absolutely. Now, you have another project that you just released. I mean, it's just back-to-back projects with you, huh?
Yes,
so you
sir.
got another project that you just released that we're going to be discussing, an album. Now, this is not your first. What number album is this?
With me and my partner, my DJ, my producer, RP Beats, this is our third project together.
Okay.
Me personally, you know, I've been doing this pretty much my whole life. So it depends on how far you want to go back. I got mixtapes going back to the 90s and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But me and RP, this is the third go round for us.
Okay. Now, the latest one you have, I'm gonna show it in a second, but it's called the Master Tables. The Master Table, I'm sorry. So yeah, let me let him zoom in so you can see this is the cover of it. The Master Table.
The Master's Table. Yes,
The Master's.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
So explain now. The cover is very interesting, and I know you must have took some time selecting who you're gonna put on the cover. So explain who you have on the cover and why you selected that person.
Absolutely. So first of all, like you said, the name of the album is The Master's Table. Me and DJ RP Beats as a group, we are known as Master Elements. This is our third project, and the what do you call it? The esteemed guest at the Master's Table, we have Dr. Claude Anderson, we have Baba Dick Gregory, we have Shahrazad Ali, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Amos Wilson, student minister Dr. Ava Muhammad, as well as brother Mr. Neely Fuller. And so there are more warrior scholars and ancestors who are present at the Master's Table in spirit. But we chose these particular 7 master teachers to be featured on the cover because their work is directly tied to some of the themes in the music. Some of the stuff that we're talking about in the music, it comes directly from their work. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm almost quoting, you know, some of these people in some of the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? And so just based on, you know, us going through the album, listening to it, and having conversations around some of the themes and stuff like that, we knew who we had to choose to appear on the cover.
Yeah. So the people you chose, and I like it because it shows that the table is very well rounded. You know, all of them are masters in their own right. They had the things, they were expert in every level, but they had things that they specialized in.
Right.
So that's what brings a good balance, a good sense of balance to the table. So that's one of the things that I noticed when I saw the cover. Like, oh, okay, he
Good
didn't just
catch.
pick any random people to sit at this table. You know, you must have selected these 7 people. I noticed also it was 7 people, but you noticed he selected them very carefully. So I think that was a very smart idea for you to do.
Yeah, good catch. Good catch.
Now, we're going to, if the audience is ready for it, we are going to actually look into the album, and then we're going to give our brother here is going to give a good breakdown of certain things that he sees in the album. Now, let me see. I gotta stop sharing that screen, share this screen. So, scrolling up, right? This is this is Spotify. Okay. This is Spotify. This is the master's table on Spotify. Okay, 14 songs published 2023. So you have your introduction, you have the master's theme, Purple Tape, the forward, Who Killed Malcolm, She Woke Within War, the master's theme, interlude, and then Sunrise, Flowers, 120 Lessons, Revenge of the Akata, Black Death equals White Wealth, Plandemic, the Fort Caustic. So these 4 songs, if we could go through just maybe 1 or 2, what do you think the audience here would really resonate with? And then we'll play, and then we can kind of give a breakdown.
For sure, I would say for the audience here today, I would say Who Killed Malcolm. Really, we could pick any of them at random, and it would resonate with your audience. But Who Killed Malcolm is what I would choose.
Okay. Who Killed Malcolm? Now, before we play that, what is your personal favorite
Today?
Yeah. I gotta put you on blast. You know I gotta do it. I gotta put you on blast. What's your personal favorite?
Today I'm feeling Sunshine.
Okay. All right.
And that's one for the ladies. That one right there is for the sisters. We bigging up, Black women. We celebrating the divine feminine on that one.
Mm-hmm. So before I play this song, which I'm gonna play in a second, so audience, y'all make sure y'all like, okay, and follow our good brother Sincere Love the God on YouTube and all other platforms, because it's pretty much that on every other platform. Okay, then follow his co-host Nicety, and shout out to Crown 808. Now,
shout out to the team.
Now, why out of all 14 songs, why Who Killed Malcolm? Why do you think that one is gonna really hit hard when it comes to the audience?
I think it's one of those topics that is very polarizing. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people in these spaces in the community who fought Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam for the assassination of Malcolm X. And there's a lot of people who feel the opposite way. And so the song was really inspired by me and my producer actually having that conversation, having that debate. You know what I'm saying? Us going back and forth, having that debate about, who killed Malcolm, who's really responsible. And so that's what brought the inspiration for the song. And so I know that the subject creates a lot of conversation. You know what I mean? It warrants a reaction. You can't just listen to it and not feel a type of way.
Okay. Definitely. All right. Well, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Who Killed Malcolm?
There are those in the circle who feared the kind of publicity that he was getting, the kind of attention that he was getting. He was the most vocal. He was the most loved. He was the most honored and respected.
And he outshone the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
In certain areas, yes.
So you think the nation really has something to do with that?
I don't know, man.
Because I'm saying, niggas don't say that about Darthar Perry,
William O'Neill,
and these niggas that infiltrated the Black Panthers. They don't say the Black Panthers killed Fred Hampton. Listen, they don't walk it how I walk it, nigga. And they ain't talking how I'm talking, nigga. It's different. It's just different. They ain't talking how we talking, man. They say the NOI got blood on their hands. I disagree with that. Open up the FBI files and let us see the facts. If Dr. King had mistress after mistress, honestly, that shit ain't really none of my business. And listen, J. Edgar Hoover was a closet freak. He wore lingerie under the Brooks Brothers, and privately, he was getting hand jobs from Dr. Perry. Y'all could miss me with the mystery. History ain't a theory, nigga. Hope you listen and hear me clearly, nigga. You poltergeist, I know I'm Christ, that's where we differ. You scary niggas pick the low-hanging fruit and bite the apple like Eve. Why not go to the root? I say, who told you that? Now let's consider the source. Every potential black messiah, they was picking us off. This shit is biblical. I know we live inside this digital reality. It's Web3 now, don't get it twisted though. Yeah, and they ain't walking how I walk it, nigga. They ain't talking how I'm talking, nigga. It's different. It's just different. Nobody talking how we talking, man. Listen. So they don't walk it how I walk it, nigga. And they ain't talking how we talking, nigga. It's like we speaking in tongues. It's hard to reach the dumb. They control the major resources while we beefing for crumbs. You flex a flimsy muscle when you target Nipsey Hussle. They hit up water supplies. Mississippi, we love you. And Flint, Michigan, who knows when this shit will end? It's coming to a city near you. I hope you listening. I'm back to who killed Malcolm. A lot of information cleared the name of the nation, but some of y'all still doubt him. I had this argument with RPB. He said, nah, I think the nation had a part in it, G. They was jealous of Malcolm. He was outshining the master. You know the laws of power. I thought about it and asked him, you clear the government of wrongdoing? I mean, I understand the jealousy. We all human. But the nation was crawling with agents under constant surveillance. And now they claiming that they botched the whole investigation like they incompetent. Come on, we need to stop this shit. They covered up the crime because they the fuckers that got them hit. Man, nobody talking how we talking, nigga. They scared to walk it how we walk it, nigga. It's different. It's just different. Nobody talking how we talking, man. Listen. They scared to walk it how I walk it, nigga. Nobody talking how we talking, nigga. It's different. It's just different. They ain't talking how we talking, man. Listen. Man, listen. Man, listen. Man, listen. Man, listen.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. We got another one playing. But let's break that down. Before we continue, let's break that down. First off, bravo, definitely.
Thank you.
The chat room feeling it. Now, let's do a breakdown of some of the lyrics in that. Now, it opened up, which caught my attention. It opened up saying that, you know, they don't blame the Black Panther Party for the death of Fred Hampton, right?
Right.
Even though technically William O'Neal was a member of the Black Panther Party. But they don't say the Black Panther Party killed Fred Hampton. They say the FBI and Chicago Police Department did it. So that's a very interesting way of looking at the situation. So tell me how you were thinking as far as that concerned. Let's dive into that.
To me, that right there, what you just pointed out, really sums up the whole situation. For me, that's all I needed to know to be convinced of who the real culprits are. You know what I'm saying? That's all I needed to know is that, okay, you had people who infiltrated the Nation of Islam who were really working on behalf of the U.S. government and these different police agencies who were the triggermen, who were the parties involved, the people that were Black who were involved. These were government agents who infiltrated the Nation of Islam. And so it's the same, it's the perfect comparison to when you talk about the William O'Neal situation. Because William O'Neal, like you said, he was an active member. Even though he was working on behalf of the FBI and Chicago PD, he was a card-carrying member of the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? He was in there helping out with all types of organizing and all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the whole time, he was a Judas. You know what I'm saying? And so rightfully so, people don't blame the Black Panther Party for the assassination of Fred Hampton. Rightfully so, they shouldn't. Because it wasn't a true Black Panther who did it just out of some type of jealousy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This person was working on behalf of the government. And so it was the same situation with the gunman in the Malcolm X assassination. It's the same situation. These people were not sincere members of the Nation of Islam. They were there on a job. You know, and most of them, the actual the party, the 5 members who were part of that party were not active members in the Nation of Islam at the time. The gunmen, they weren't active members at the time, you know, whether they were working for the government or not. They weren't even active members in the nation. And then the other thing is, the word didn't come from Elijah Muhammad. If Elijah Muhammad didn't give the order, then it's not being done on behalf of the nation. You know what I'm saying? And so if you guys really, really want to get a thorough breakdown of this, we actually did a lyrical breakdown on one of the series that we do on my channel called The Masters Decoded. And I had the honor and the privilege of having Dr. Wesley Muhammad actually help me decipher these lyrics and decode these lyrics. And he came with all the facts and receipts on that joint. So if you really want to get a full breakdown on that song right there, go check it out. It's on my channel. There's a podcast series called The Masters Decoded. You can check that out.
Okay, definitely. Now, for the audience, you guys definitely, if you guys want to do a more in-depth lyrical breakdown, definitely go to The Masters Decoded, where you can get that. Now, the line, they don't walk it how I walk it, they don't talk it how we talk it. What does that mean?
When we look at some of our favorite artists in hip hop in particular, when you listen to our album, there's nobody that's talking the way that we're talking. We're talking about the real issues that are affecting Black society today. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about everything that's going on out here. Like I was explaining on the podcast recently, you know, we went through a whole 2.5 year period of a global pandemic. And not one rapper said a word. You know what I'm saying? Which is very strange because hip hop always been the mouthpiece for the people. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop always been a rebellious culture. That's the nature of it. That's what hip hop is. So it's like, do we really have hip hop today if nobody's not talking about these important issues? You know what I'm saying? And so we touch on things that people are afraid to touch on, whether we're talking about racism, white supremacy, whether we're talking about the global pandemic and, you know, the juice that was being pushed on everybody. We talk about those issues. We talk about reparations. We talk about, you know, some of the other political issues and things like that. You know, we're not afraid to go there.
Yeah, and that's very interesting. And even on this channel, I'm very careful with my wording when I talk about that situation. But I mean, that was a very big deal. It changed the world. And a lot of the artists, even the ones that we view as rebellious, even the ones we view as they're not politically correct, everybody was super hush-hush about the situation. Nobody wanted to say anything about it, especially when the juice started coming out. When they started implementing that, everybody was really scared to say anything about it at that point.
For real.
So, that's very interesting. Now, going back to the concept of this song, and I saw a documentary, and they did it on Netflix or whatever the case is, and then later there was his name was Raymond Wood. He was a FBI. He worked for the FBI, and I've talked about this multiple times. He worked for the FBI. Before he was sick, he was terminally ill. He knew he was dying, so he wrote a confession letter that he wanted to become public after he passed away. In his confession letter, he pretty much confessed to working with the FBI and the Chicago police, not Chicago, New York police, to kill Malcolm. Okay, so do you think that that is proof enough alone to say that it wasn't the nation, that it was the FBI and it was the uh, New York Police Department that did it, or do you still, or how when people, when you hear that and people still say no, I think it was the nation, I think it was Elijah Muhammad, what do you say to that?
Well, I wouldn't say that alone is proof enough, but it adds to the proof, a lot of the proof that was already there. There's a lot of stuff that, like I said, we covered on that broadcast that we did that I didn't even know prior to. And I know Dr. Wesley has a whole series where he's talking about this stuff and bringing receipts, documented receipts of the FBI's involvement. And so my thing is, like I said in the song, I said, you clear the government of wrongdoing. I mean, I understand the jealousy. We all human. So my thing is, if you're of the belief that the nation had a hand in it, or they somewhat responsible, or whatever the case may be, are you saying that they were working with the government? Are you saying that the Nation of Islam are government agents? Minister Farrakhan, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, those are government agents? Is that what you're saying? And usually people be like, well, I'm not saying that. And I'm like, well, it can't be both. It got to be one or the other, because the facts can't be refuted that the government was involved. You know what I'm saying? These are proven facts at this point. So if you're still saying that the nation, okay, yeah, you're saying the government was involved, but it was the nation too, then you're saying that the nation was working with the government to murder Malcolm X.
It's an interesting way of looking at that. It's a very interesting way of looking at that situation. So it's a good and it's a good thing that you brought that into music in today, in modern society. It's not just it's not just a novel, it's not a book or anything like that, but it's actually music that really does make you kind of question your speculation, you're guessing. My tongue is twisted right now, but
Mine too. I don't know
the situation. You know what I'm saying? It hits you in a different level when it comes in a form of music. So I think that is a really important thing that you did, bringing a very serious issue in a level where a lot of people will absorb it because people listen to music. And more people in our society are more willing to listen to a song about something that might be empowering than going and reading this book, looking at this documentary, and doing all the things. All you need to do is really spark the question to motivate them to kind of second guess, assuming one thing that of course they were told, and then to look into it themselves.
Right. You hit the nail on the head. That's the reason why we feel what we do is important overall, because we know that there is a contingency amongst Black society who is not going to sit there and read, the blueprint for Black Power. I always use that as an example. Dr. Amos Wilson, Blueprint for Black Power, is like a Bible. It's a very, very heavy book, thick, 800 something pages. A lot of people not going to sit there and read that. You know what I'm saying? But they love hip hop though. They like rap music. And I'm good at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm nice. I know how to make music that people like. You know what I'm saying? And where it doesn't come across like you're being lectured or like you're being preached to, or that it's just corny or whatever. Nah, it's a dope hip hop song. At the same time, it's making me think. You know what I'm saying? So we put the candy in the medicine.
I like that.
Medicine in the candy, I should say.
That's cool too. Medicine and candy in the medicine. They both tasting something sweet and getting healed by it. Now, is there another song? I know you said you were feeling. What was the other song? You said you were feeling Sunshine, right?
Yeah, I've been listening to Sunshine the last couple of days. I don't know if I would suggest to play that one. I would take a suggestion from the audience.
Okay.
From some of the viewers.
Audience, out of these songs, let me scroll up to the. Well, we can skip the intro. So from the Masters theme all the way down to.
And I'll read some of the titles to y'all to choose from. You guys choose. You guys who are watching us live in the chat. You want to hear the Masters theme. You want to hear Purple Tape. The Fort, She Woke Within War. You want to hear Sunshine, you want to hear Flowers, 120 Lessons, Revenge of the Akata, or Plandemic? I know it's a little bit delayed in the chat.
Yeah, I know the chat takes a little bit of time to hear all that stuff, but I know our sister Nicey's in here and she knows all the songs, and our sister Crown 808 is in here. She knows all the songs, so I'm pretty sure their answer is going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah.
While we're waiting on their answer, the Masters theme, what is that? What is that about?
The Masters theme is pretty much like it's like the menu. You know what I'm saying? Because when we were doing the pre-order to the album, we were asking people to RSVP to the Masters table. You know, so it was an invite. It was an invitation for everybody to come have a seat at the Masters table and to eat the food for thought, you know, from the Master Elements, right? And so the Masters theme gives you a menu of what's going to be served. You know what I mean? It breaks down the themes that you're about to get into on this album. So it's kind of like an intro.
Okay. So we have one for Revenge of the Akata and then another for Purple Tape. Do we have a tiebreaker or do we have a third option? You know, I don't want to seem biased here. So we would need somebody to break the tie, or we would need somebody to give us another option, and then we can kind of randomly pick. Now, the Revenge of the Akata, what is that?
Revenge of the Akata, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, as you know, of course, and many people in your audience know, you know, we've been circling our wagons around our culture as foundational Black Americans. And that's come with a lot of pushback and really a lot of revelation about where a lot of non-foundational Black Americans stand and have been standing for a long time in opposition to us as a group. You know what I mean? And so for people that don't know, Akata is a West African derogatory term that is used for foundational Black Americans in particular. And so, you know, just taking that word and removing the power from it and striking back in a way. You know what I'm saying? But like I say in the first line of the song, this is for the tether class. It's not for the riders in the diaspora. It's no disrespect to you, but we got to provide some order. You know what I mean? So it's just getting some straightening.
Okay. Somebody also says Purple Tape, and then someone else says She Woke. So what is Purple Tape? We waiting on the tiebreaker, y'all. I want to play something real bad. Don't make me have to pick. But what is Purple Tape?
Purple Tape is most people's favorite song on the album. That's probably the most hip hop song that me and RP ever made right there. It's paying homage to Wu-Tang, paying homage to Raekwon the Chef's album, Only Built for Cuban Links. Purple Tape is that joint, man.
Okay. All right. Purple Tape. We might be getting turned up to Purple Tape. And She Woke.
She Woke. I did a breakdown to that one yesterday, or what's today? I don't know where we at. This week, though, whatever day it was, Tuesday, I did it. That song is a story about a female, a sister who was inspired by our previous album, which is called The Spear and the Shield. I got on the Spear and the Shield merch right now. This was a limited edition. Y'all can't get this right now, man. We might re-release it, but that was a limited edition Spear and the Shield joint. And so it's a story about a sister who was inspired from listening to the Spear and the Shield to really get into consciousness. You know what I mean? She was awakened. She was awakened via our previous album, and she's kind of thanking me for making it. That's what She Woke is about.
Yeah. Okay. And so, well, it looks like we finally got somebody to break the tie. So we'll play Revenge of the Akata.
There we go.
Revenge of the Akata. All right, hold on.
Had a feeling that would be the one.
I did too. I didn't want to, I didn't want to choose it. But, no.
That's one of those clickbait titles.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean this shit with all due respect, dog. When we get to that war, when that war coming is us against them, my fucking AK is gonna go akata kata, akata kata.
Hold up, Afro.
My shit gonna ring out, nigga. You gotta chill, man. Put the gun down, man.
Yeah. Revenge of the Master Elements. Y'all. Africans, Caribbeans, essays, Asians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, white boys, Jamaicans, Latinx, Arabs, native tribes, Haitians. All these motherfuckers been secretly hating. This for the 10th class, not for the riders in the diaspora. No disrespect to you, but we gotta provide some order. I know they told you stay away from the Akata, but mama should've warned you not to play with the Akata. We them Yankee boys, and I'ma say that shit frankly, boy. My family built this fucking country, you should thank me, boy. This block viento tu mejora, la raza. Keep that shit in your country and don't bring it to mi casa. All that colorism in these racial caste systems. All across Asia, the darkest ones be the victims. India, they untouchable, they mean that shit literal. But here on US soil, we unfuckwittable. Exceptional people, respect to the Negro. Before you get your green card, we double checking your ego. That bulletproof glass in Arab stores, stop buying them cigarillos, we take that as war. They like to call us Abids and Jareds, but East Africa is in shambles, the hypocrisy's weird. Your economy's weird, bankrupt, so you gotta flee here. We embrace you with open arms, now it's obviously clear, we unappreciated. All that sucker shit is for leeches, ain't it? I think it's time that we get reacquainted. Foundational black Americans, we the ones that be moving culture. So sit your ass in the goofy corner. When we talk about reparations, it ain't up for debate. It's a blood debt owed to descendants for the enslavement. But you can call us freedmen for legislation, just like y'all compensated Asians with no hesitation. But permanent underclass is our designation. We can't accept replacement in the country we created. Which brings me to all these neo-Nazi Ukrainians. We are not them docile Africans y'all be playing with. Nah, these niggas built different. They wonder how we still kicking after centuries of being in the fields picking cotton and indigo. Shout out to the Seminoles and Gullah Geechees. Hey, what that reparations hitting for? And if you didn't vote, I fuck with you, nigga. Cause if it's up, then it's stuck. So get comfortable, nigga. And if you didn't vote, I fuck with you, nigga. Cause if it's up, then it's stuck. So get comfortable, nigga. Africans, Caribbeans, essays, Asians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, white boys, Jamaicans, Latinx, Arabs, native tribes, Haitians. All these motherfuckers been secretly hating.
We're not asking for anything, we're not asking for anything, but all we want is what's ours. You know, this revolution is built on somebody else.
Yes, sir.
So you decided that you just weren't going to spare no feelings, huh? That's what you decided, huh?
Chose violence.
Yeah, chose violence. You had your black Air Forces on when you was making that song. Yeah.
Right.
That's good. That's good. Now, the FBA Expo coming up next week, brother. I know you're gonna be there. I know our sister Nicety is gonna be there. I see her in the chat. Hello to you. And I know that you said you're having a vendor's booth, right? What can people expect to see there?
So yeah, come see us at the vendor's booth on February 27th at the FBA Expo in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Come get your children's books. We're gonna have the Seven's Big Move on sale there. We'll be doing some free giveaways as well. We got some other little knickknacks and surprises for the family. Also, you can get the physical copies of the Master's Table. I will have the CDs on deck there.
They're going to be signed.
Signed, absolutely. All
right.
Get your autograph. Get your autograph CD. Comes with a poster as well. You know what I mean? Get your poster. It's bigger than this though. The one that I'm giving y'all is bigger than this. I'll sign those for you if you want me to too. Also, and we'll have some merch. We got the children's t-shirts. 7 the Super Heru. 7 the Super Heru t-shirt. So you can get the book and the t-shirt for your child, your niece, your nephew, grandbaby, whoever you got. And for the adults, we got the Master's Table t-shirts on deck as well. And so these come in adult sizes, I think from small to extra large. So at the expo, we'll just have the black but on the website, there's different colors that you can order.
Okay. Okay, that's that. So, and people will just be get to see you in person because it's a good thing to just see somebody and have that connection with that person, like actually being able to have a face-to-face real life conversation. So it'll be definitely good to see you. I'll be there definitely. So it'll be definitely good to, everybody can link up and see each other and have a good time. So
Looking
that's
forward to
good.
meeting you, brother. It's going to be our first time meeting in person.
Mhm.
I've been on your platform before. You've been on mine before. It's going to be our first time. I know you and Nicely met a couple of times in
Mhm.
person, but I'm looking forward to meeting you myself. And also, you guys are going to get to meet Seven. The star of the book series. He'll
All
be
right.
there. He'll be signing pictures and signing autographs and taking pictures with you guys as well. And he's super excited. He's been looking forward to this for a while now. He's familiar with you and other people who create content in the space, and so he's
Yeah.
looking forward to meeting everybody too.
Yes, definitely looking forward to meeting him. Now, as far as your YouTube goes, I know you talk a lot about a lot of different things. You touch on a lot of different issues, as far as political issues, social issues that go on in the community. But what is something that you say is the bread and butter of your YouTube? What do you say is something that whether that's politics, police brutality, whether that's dating issues, social issues? I know you touch on everything, but is there anything in particular or specific that your YouTube channel focuses on?
From what I heard, I would have to, from the feedback that we've gotten, I would have to say it's the Black Business Showcase.
Okay.
So we have the weekly series where we bring on business owners and entrepreneurs, and we advertise their business. We talk to them about their story and how they got started and stuff like that, and we get as much game as possible from them about how to start a business, how to scale a business. You know what I mean? What it all entails. You know what I mean? And so that one, I think, is a powerful series that we have going on, and probably the most impactful because it kills multiple birds in one stone. You know what I'm saying? We're not just creating content. We still get to talk about social and political issues on a lot of those, series. Just because when you're showcasing a Black business, it's hard to avoid talking about racism and white supremacy, right? You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many obstacles that we have to go through as Black entrepreneurs, right? So we get to cover a lot of ground with those stories, and also people get to learn a lot. There's a lot of people out there who have ideas and they want to get started in business and do different things, and they need inspiration. You know what I mean? They need resources. You know what I mean? And so resources are not always in the form of tangible money, but just the right information. Somebody who has experience that can share that with you and let you know how they did it. Then it gives you some idea how to get started.
Okay, definitely. That's good. And people can find you where? Where can people find you?
At Sincere Love to God everywhere. Just type in my name on any platform and we're going to come up. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys, and follow me on Instagram. That's pretty much the go-to spot for me. I create a lot of content on Instagram, and I have the links in my bio to everything else. So at Sincere Love to God everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay, well, that's good. So definitely, audience, you guys have liked what you guys heard as far as the book series that he's just starting. He has his first issue out already, Peru, his big move. So he has that. He also has his most recent, not just one, but his most recent album, The Master's Table. And we listened to a couple of songs, only two of 14 songs, you know what I'm saying? And everybody was loving the two of those 14 songs. So definitely it's and where can people find that?
It's available. You can stream it on all platforms. It's available now. But also, if you want to get your physical copies, go to themastersrsvp.com, themastersrsvp.com, and there you can get the physical CDs. If you want to just have it as memorabilia, you can get your T-shirts, the posters. Actually, we have the canvas prints that go on the wall. They come in different sizes and stuff like that. So yeah, themastersrsvp.com.
Okay. All right. Definitely. Well,
And
thank
for
you.
the book, it's godcastbooks.com for the book and all of the merch surrounding the Seven the Superhero book series. Godcastbooks.com.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Um, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put the link to all of that stuff in the description below to make it easier for you as the audience to just go to that link in the description below. Hit that link. It's gonna take you to his Instagram. Gonna take you to his, the book is gonna take you to the album. Also, too, if you guys have Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes, whatever the case is, you guys can go to either one of those music streaming platforms and you guys can get the music there too. It's not buying. It's free. You just listen to the music there.
Yes, sir.
Now, is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
Well,
Any last words you have for the audience?
first of all, again, I got to thank you just for having me on and, giving me a platform to promote, our projects and stuff like that. Definitely don't take it for granted. It's much appreciated. I love what you do, brother. I've been seeing you build your platform and build up your audience. So, keep banging on them, keep doing what you do. But like I always say, I'm not the master teacher. I am only the master student and signal booster for the Voices of the New Black Media. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Peace and black love.
Peace. Thank you, brother. Thank you for joining us. Now, you guys go to his YouTube, his Instagram. He also has that on Twitter as well, too. Sincere Love the God, pretty much anywhere you can think to find him on all social media, which is Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all of that stuff. And then you can find him there. Also, just search The Master's Table on Spotify, which is what I did. And you can pull up the album is going to be the first thing that comes up. Find that on that iTunes, Apple Music, those streaming platforms. Also go to the website and get yourself either the physical copy, which you can get if you go to the expo, or you can get the ebook copy if you have a tablet, whatever the case is, whatever makes it easier for you to help you reach your children. Please make sure you guys get that done. And with that being said, brothers and sisters, you guys can follow me on my social media platforms, which is, if I can find it, which is at Afro Elite on Instagram and then at the Afro Elite on Twitter. So please do not leave without making sure you go subscribe to our good brother, Sincere Love the God, on YouTube, and then subscribe here. Hit the notification button so you don't miss out on any future content. Leave a like and share this on your various social media platforms. All of these things help the algorithm. Sorry, it helps the algorithm. It helps let people know the YouTube algorithm and the audience know that the content is good content, that you like the content, that you want to see more of the content. It helps me know that as well too. And sharing it helps the reach and the growth of the channel. So for all of what you guys do, I sincerely appreciate you very much. Thank you, brothers and sisters. And with that being said, be one salute to every single last one of you all. And of course, you all have a good one.